Hello and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today we are doing an unboxing of the Sony FDR AX53 camcorder. I want to change the angle so that you can see everything on top, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so here we have the camera box right here, the FDR AX53. Sorry if the sound quality is a little bit off here, or sounds not very good now. We'll have to sacrifice a little bit. But anyways, let's get on with the unboxing. So let's open it up. Maybe I can peel off the tape with my fingers. Alright, so let's check out what you get in the box of the Sony FDR AX53 here. And let's see, what you are presented with here is some cables and stuff. So first of all, you have a power cable for the actual power dock. You can see it's one of those. So it's the one you use for plugging into the wall. Other than being presented with that, you also are presented with the HDMI cable right here, an HDMI to micro HDMI, and then you have a micro USB here to a USB-A. And then after that you also have the AC adapter here. But you can see this one is just made for power. And let's see, we have something in here. Right, here we have the battery. So let's get it out of its packaging. Not sure if it shorts already, but yeah. And here we actually have the camera itself. I can actually lift it up. This is the first time I've actually seen this camera. Might is there anything else in here? It seems like it is. Nothing is left in here. Let's open up the camera. It comes in this paper-ish thing. And there it is, the Sony FDR AX53. Ooh, I've never seen this in person or held it in person. And here it comes to the next part of the unboxing, which is actually unboxing just a SD card, if I can find it. It was actually I just didn't see it. 128GB, because I felt like it's also SDHD, which is really good. I bought it with the camera, or no, I didn't buy it with the camera. I'm actually not going to tell you what about it, but I'm not at home, as you can probably see. If you watch my other videos, you know I'm not at home right now. It's Christmas, so kind of makes sense I wouldn't be. There we go. Alright, so here we have the SD card. I open it now. And this is the one I'm gonna use in the camera, so I need to pull it out here. If I can. Yes, I can. And this one is really smart kind of design. It has some kind of thing in the bottom that actually helps it. So let's get this out of its point, shouldn't we? There we go. This one is a lot better than most other systems I've seen. So I actually like Kingston doing this. I'm just gonna put this off the side. Here, you can just open it up. Yeah, here's the SD card port. So you just take your SD card this way. Make sure this one is not flipped down, because then it's not gonna be able to use it. And then you just plug it in. But I'm gonna be back with you guys when I've used this for a while, and I'll talk about the pros and the cons and stuff about it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm now home, and let's do the review part of this video. So we're going to start by talking about the features and everything of the camera. Then we're gonna talk about every button and feature it has. We're also gonna talk about the pros and the cons of the camera, as well as how I use these and how I need them, and if it's a pro or a con for me, as well as who the camera is for. And then in the end there will be a little bit of a conclusion, which is just gonna talk about how, who is this for and everything in a main thing. The Sony FDR AX53 is a handheld camcorder that has a total of 20 times optical zoom. These levels of zoom are equivalent to a 26.8 to 536mm lens at 16.9 aspect ratio. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? The camera is capable of recording in 4K and 1080p, and it is also capable of recording up to 120 frames per second in slow motion video. In 4K you can record 30 FPS video, and in 1080p you can record 60 FPS. Although, if you live in the PAL region, you can only record in 25 and 50 frames per second. Sony advertises that this camera's stabilization system, like the built-in stabilization system, is so good that you don't have to use a gimbal. I don't actually think it's that good, because it doesn't have a function for stabilizing tilt angles, which a gimbal does. You can record a time-lapse even in 4K, and this is actually really nice, because even though it's gonna use a lot of memory, it's gonna be really nice to just have a feature to shoot time-lapse whenever you want. Even in 4K, that is the best thing actually. Another great thing about this camera, which is actually the main reason as to why I bought it and not like any other of Sony's cameras like AX53 or AX43, is because there's something called night shot. And what this does is that it uses an IR sensor to enhance video in complete darkness. Here's a test of it in action. And I know it's pretty crazy, isn't it? So how it works, I can show you right here. I have the camera right here. The way it works is that when you press the button on night shot right there, what happens is that you can see in the bottom corner there, there's a, now it's blue, but in my view it's red. You're gonna realize it if you get this camera. And it's supposed to be just red, and that is the IR sensor. When you block it, you're gonna see what happens. It works really well, as you could see in the test. I was in complete darkness, I could not see anything there. So yeah, that's pretty nice actually. There's also a feature to live stream with this camera. However, this feature apparently costs $99 per month, which kind of makes this feature useless, because I don't think anyone would want to pay money for something they've already paid about $800 for. And I didn't think this was how the live streaming feature would have worked. I thought it was like something, oh, you can use it via your phone and you don't even need to use it via a PC to stream, like the camera's output. Like you have I have my phone in my pocket or on the top of the camera, and then I got the chat and everything. No, it was something that is just means it streams over to your computer. I think it's something like that. There's also a electronic viewfinder on this camera, which you can see right here. You pull it out and open it up. That's the viewfinder. It's a really small display in there, as you can see. It's not very big. However, this one isn't very high quality. It's like 1 inch by 1 inch, so it's very small. I think, no, it's probably smaller, but I don't use it very often. But if I do use it, there is some cons with that one as well, which I will talk about later. You can see the full specifications and features of the camera in the links I have left in the description down below. And don't worry, it does say what those links are for also in the description. Now for the pros and cons of the camera. First, the pros. One thing I like about the Sony FDR AX53 is the stabilization system. It's excellent for what I am doing and what I'm going to record, and because I need stable shots, and I need that even at maximum zoom. Another good thing is how far you can zoom with this camera. I mean, you literally have to use it's literally like you have a telephoto lens in a compact form, this big of a camera. That's insane. I also like that there's a headphone jack so that you can listen to your audio in real time. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, I like the night shot feature a lot. Now for the cons. What I don't really like about the AX53 is that it's a region-locked camera. This means that if you live in the PAL region, you can't use NTSC, and if you live in the NTSC region, you can't use PAL. And that's stupid. Why is this even a thing anymore? Everyone wants to, when you record YouTube videos, you want to change between it, but you can't because it's locked for some fucking reason, okay? But yeah. In PAL you can record in 24, 25, 50 and 100 frames per second on this camera. And in NTSC you can record in 24, 30, 60 and 120 frames per second. That's the huge difference. And yeah, this is really frustrating. Because the camera, as I said earlier, it's meant for YouTubers and vloggers, so you want to have 60 FPS on it, but you can't. Although there are some tools that makes you be able to use this, but use these at your own risk because they can brick your camera, and what that means is that you cannot leave it for Sony because they will say, oh, you have bricked it, it's unusable, we're not going to be able to fix it, we're not going to fix it, your warranty is voided, you don't have any warranty anymore. That's what we're going to say. So do not do that if you don't want to break this camera, although if you're outside of your warranty of it, you can do it however you want, because then there's not really a point, you still don't have warranty. And another issue about this camera is that in manual mode you can change aperture, iris or shutter speed, which is really nice, but you can only change one of those three at the time. So that means if you want to change your iris, you cannot change shutter speed or aperture, and if you want to change aperture, you cannot change shutter speed or iris, or if you want to change shutter speed, yeah, you can change iris or aperture. And this is really annoying. Like, who that uses manual doesn't want to use all of these three features at the same time? And now, from what I read, that tool that moves PAL to NTSC or NTSC to PAL does actually make that those features locked, but I don't think it does if you're in the US region, like the NTSC region. Then it's gonna be locked for you forever, so you can actually not use it. There are some workarounds for it. You can, for example, have the ring set to exposure, and then you can use exposure compensation or something else, like I don't know, and you can use low light, and this will actually help you a lot. But still, it would have been nice if they included that on this camera. I don't really care about that so much because it does a good job in auto, and I'm probably just only going to use auto on this camera, so I don't really care about it as much. But it would be nice, as I said earlier. Another thing that is bad is the photo quality. This camera could have had higher quality in the photo, but I do understand why this is the case, because it's a camcorder. They're not really made for taking photos. If you have a DSLR and you just want to take photos, but you only have this camera with you, you can't really do that in very high quality. Even though it's 16 megapixels and my DSLR is only 12, it doesn't look as good because it doesn't have a big enough sensor for it to work. But this isn't that very much of an issue, because when I take photos, I will have my DSLR with me. When I travel, I will have both these cameras with me. So it's not gonna be a problem for me. I already have a camera for photography and stuff. Although the thing I probably hate the most about this camera is that even though it has one of these viewfinders, as you can see on it there's nothing, and it doesn't include a eye cup. What is an eye cup, you may ask? Well, an eye cup is those things that make that they cover like here and then your entire eye for when you're looking through them. Although I searched it up and everything, there is not a single eye cup that Sony creates for this camera. They never actually intended for it to have one. Like, the only other eye cap I found that actually fits this camera, from what I've read online, is a Nikon one that is made for Nikon cameras with circular viewfinders. But like, I'm not sure. There was two versions, one just a round one that is like a circle and they don't have like the stick out thing, and then one that had a stick out thing. It was cheaper, it was more available in Sweden. But I don't know which one to buy, so I'll probably buy one of them and see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll try to leave it back. If I can't, well, then I can't do much. So that's not very nice, but it's fine though. Now, who is this camera for? The Sony FDR AX53 is a good camera for anyone that just wants a camera for recording video that is better than recording with a smartphone. It's also really good for people that travel, or that likes to travel, because the camera doesn't weigh a lot and it's easy to carry with you. The AX53 is also good for people that doesn't want to spend thousands of dollars for a telephoto lens for video, or just for a camera with telephoto lens for video. However, if you want a good camera that has both high quality video and photo, you should look into some other DSLR cameras. This is not a DSLR camera, but some DSLR cameras, like Sony's A7s. Those are really good, but they're really expensive, so be ready to pay a lot for those. Because this one, it won't really benefit you in any way when you're taking photos. Now for some tests of the camera. We will have a stabilization test, we will have a zoom test in optical 20 times, optical 30 times, and optical 40 times. That's pretty crazy, but it's not really optical 30 and 40. It is something called the clear image zoom 30 and 40, and that is what it says here. That doesn't mean it has 30, so don't get thrown off by that or in the specs, because it does not really have 30, although it's really good with the 30. And I'm also going to make a test for digital zoom, and that is just insane. The picture or video quality isn't very high when you're using that. In 4K it is a bit higher, but it's still a really nice feature to have if you want to zoom really far. Now for the conclusion. So I've used this camera for about a day now, and I found a lot of good features on it. Although we'll not talk about everything, because then this video is gonna be 40 minutes long. If it's not already is, I don't know. It does have a flip-flop screen, which is nice. You can rotate it. It also has the zoom thing here on the top. It's very nice to navigate with. I also like that you can, like the ring here, but it could have been faster to spin it. When you're focusing, it's really slow. But yeah, a good thing, because I thought the filter diameter was the same as my other camera, but no, it was apparently 55 millimeters and not 58. So I was like, oh damn, so I can't really use one. There are adapters though that make 55 to 58, which I will probably buy. But you can see that when you close the thing up, there's a cover that closes up, and when you open the screen again, it does the same thing. So it's an automatic shutter for protecting it. When you're pulling out the viewfinder, the same thing happens. It has a TCN, which I really like, because then you can just plug this camera straight into your outlet, like wall outlet, and it will transmit power directly. You don't even need a battery. It also works as a charger, so to charge the battery, you just have the camera here and you plug it in and it charges. That's really cool as well. And manual button, really easy, really accessible. I like that. I also like the Mi mount that is up here, like that you can just flip this up and use it. That is nice, but it could have been removable, because it can be a little bit annoying when you're using a microphone on it. I like the HDMI port actually a lot. I used it now, and even though you have the menus, those go away when you're using it in HDMI, which is nice. I like the SD card, the quality of this one opening. I like that. I think that is the conclusion of this camera. If you need a camera for example, if you play disc golf like me and you need a camera for recording that will be the perfect camera, the best, probably the best even camera you can get for it at this price. I would guess that in some regions of the US you would probably have to pay up to $1,000 for this camera, but if you live in some other regions and if you have a good price for it, you could probably get it for about $700 or less. If you get it for less, that's pretty insane actually. I got this one for $800 and I think that was actually a really reasonable price. Okay, so thanks for watching this review of the Sony FDR AX53. I do recommend this camera a lot. The stabilization system is really good. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have anything that you want to tell me about this camera, like it could be a feature you haven't seen me use and you think it's really useful, you want to just share it with anyone, just share it with me. I want to know what features, what do you guys do, and if I see some comments, I will definitely answer all of them. If it's just flooded with comments, it's gonna be pretty hard for me to answer all of them, but I'll try my best. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video or unboxing. Bye. Maybe a vlog. Who knows? But bye.